In this episode, Auditor Colonel Audit is out working alongside a colleague when police arrive after a local resident reports someone suspicious simply because he didn't look like he belonged. Even though he did absolutely nothing wrong, the officers fixate on demanding ID, dismiss his rights, and unlawfully detain him. But Colonel refuses to back down. He takes the matter to court, wins a major case, and even gets several of the officers dismissed from duty.
I've got to prove it. Obviously, I don't know you from Adam. You could be someone just who's dressed up.
We're not going to do this for fancy dress, are we? Right. As my colleague explained, the reason why we stopped you is because you fit the description of somebody acting suspiciously. Right? Now, you've given a legitimate reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Right. But we need to see some ID and some proof that you are here legitimately.
No, I understand that.
Can we see that, please?
I understand that, but on another term, I have actually got human rights.
Is that your vehicle there?
Nope.
Okay. So, what form of identification have you got on you to say you're actually canvassing?
I've got ID on me, but I don't have to legally show it because I've not committed a crime.
Right.
Obviously,
we've
had a phone call about a suspicious males, so we need to ascertain whether you say you are, but I take it you're not going to give us your name.
I get this every week.
Verified. Yeah, but you've got to appreciate we get calls from members.
No, I understand that, but I'm doing a job. I'm paying me taxes. I'm earning money. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. I have not committed a crime.
If you were calling us, surely you'd want us to follow it up, wouldn't you? That's why we've been sent here, to follow it up. We want to be rest assured when we leave here today that you're not up to anything suspicious.
Suspicion based solely on a vague phone call, without any concrete evidence of an actual crime, is not lawful grounds for detention or ID check. The officer's comment about needing to ascertain whether you are who you say you are is deeply problematic, especially since the auditor never gave a false identity to begin with. The auditor was simply exercising his legal right to withhold ID in the absence of reasonable suspicion of a specific offense. UK law clearly states that you are not required to show identification unless you are being lawfully detained under valid legal grounds, such as suspicion of a criminal act, which the officers completely failed to articulate here. Fishing for identity based on a vague third-party report opens the door to profiling and misuse of power, especially when no offense has occurred.
I understand it in that way, but I'm not...
Your name gives you ID, we could ring SafeStar, say, and confirm...
Well, you can ring SafeStar and you can ask them if you've got canvases in this area and you'll validate who I am.
And what's your
but obviously, I'm not giving it out.
Well, when I ring up SafeStar UK and say, you've got canvases, and they say, yeah...
They know I'm in this office, they know I'm around here. Because we get issued to a certain area and they keep both names of the people.
So where's your ID card?
It is on me, but I don't have to show it. I've not committed a crime.
We're going round in circles here, aren't we, chap?
No, I don't mean human rights, mate. I've not committed a crime. Obviously, you're putting me under alarm and distress now. You both cover it going round there. Obviously, you're trying to say that I have to show my ID.
You're putting me under alarm and distress.
How am I?
You are ID. We've shown you our ID. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, you're a public servant.
Instead of recognizing the auditor's lawful right to refuse ID without suspicion of crime, they continue to press him and then bizarrely claim he is causing them harassment, alarm, and distress. That is both ironic and troubling. How can trained officers, backed by authority in uniform, claim distress because someone calmly asserts their rights? Even worse, when questioned about their own behavior, one officer tries to justify the imbalance by saying, "We've shown you our ID." That completely misses the point. The real issue is their relentless push for his details without any lawful reason. They attempt to play the victims, flipping the entire dynamic, when in truth, they are the ones escalating and harassing. Their circular logic and refusal to accept a lawful no is not only bad policing, it's abusive.
I may be a public servant, but I'm not your servant.
No, okay. I didn't say you were my servant, did I?
Okay.
I said, but if you're walking around with a police uniform which gives you powers...
Stop going on about YouTube. It's like this public servant, okay? I'm not a servant. I'm a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Which means, but you serve the public.
I'm a police officer.
Right.
Okay. Police officer. I'm not a servant.
Yeah.
So let's get that quite clear before we start.
Well, there's no need to get angry, is there? Because now you're putting me under alarm and distress. Now I feel threatened.
The officer's remark, "I might be a public servant, but I'm not your servant. I'm not a servant. I'm a police officer," is a clear display of ego and entitlement. It completely undermines a basic principle of policing, that officers serve the public, not themselves. By trying to distance himself from service, He exposes an inflated sense of power and a serious misunderstanding of his duty. Even worse, this comment isn't isolated. It follows persistent intimidation, pressure, and a refusal to respect the auditor's lawful rights. The tone is arrogant, confrontational, and dripping with superiority. At that moment, the officer isn't just avoiding accountability. He's rejecting the very foundation of democratic policing. And that carries a heavy emotional toll on the auditor, who has done absolutely nothing wrong. It only adds to the harassment, alarm, and distress already caused.
What, you feel threatened?
Yeah, hence why I'm recording it, just in case anybody's trying anything cheeky.
That's fine.
I've had it before where police has thrown me on the floor for asking him, have you got ID?
So police officers thrown you on the floor?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I've asked for him.
Very strange.
Well, not all coppers are legitimate, are they? Not all coppers are nice. So at this moment in time, am I detained?
That's right.
What for? What am I being detained for? Have I committed a criminal offence? I've not committed a criminal offence. How can you detain me? Because then you're holding me hostage. You're now restricting my free way of movement, because now you're saying I'm being detained for a crime I've not committed. I will just literally. I'll send this to me my lawyer, mate. This is going straight to my lawyer.
First things first, you're recording it.
Yeah.
Has it just picked up the word that you just said to me?
Yeah.
Right. This is your first and last warning. You swear at me again, you'll be arrested. Do you understand me?
Yeah, but I'm asking why am I being detained?
Listen to me. Are you going to listen?
I'll listen, but I want you to listen to my point of view.
Detained at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So we can speak to the caller.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you fit the description of a person seen acting suspiciously.
Yeah.
Right? Now, until we speak to the caller and fathom out what the caller says to us, you're not going anywhere.
Right, so you're detaining me against my own will from a crime that I've not...
This is a blatant abuse of police authority. Detaining someone without valid legal grounds simply because they fit a description or appeared suspicious with zero evidence of any crime isn't just bad policing, it's a direct attack on civil liberties. The officer even admits that the detention is based solely on the word of a caller and that the auditor will stay detained until they figure out. That's not how the law works. You cannot detain a person on a hunch or vague suspicion without reasonable, objective grounds. Under UK law, particularly under PACE, officers must have reasonable justification to detain, not merely because someone phoned in saying a person looked suspicious. What this officer demonstrates is a complete reversal of justice, treating someone as guilty until proven innocent.
Are you going to admit that now on camera, that you're detaining me when I've not committed an offence?
Till we speak to the caller,
yeah.
See exactly what the caller says you have or haven't done.
Right, but technically you can't detain someone if they've not committed a crime, because then that's holding them against their own will.
Well, once we speak to the caller,
yeah, but now
the crime has been committed, then I will tell you what's going to happen next.
So you're actually admitting you've illegally detained me for a crime I've not committed?
We haven't illegally detained you.
Well, if you've not detained me, then I'm free to go.
Tell you what, walk up there and we'll follow you then if you need to speak to you again.
Well, then it's harassing.
Off you go.
But then it's harassing.
It's not harassing.
No, what I'm saying is, if you'd like to leave,
right.
if you'd like to leave now and walk whichever way you like, carry on. And if I need to speak to you at a different time, I'll come after you and have a word with you.
This officer's reaction is deeply concerning and shows a shocking disregard for lawful procedure and individual rights. Instead of acknowledging the auditor's valid concern about being unlawfully detained, the officer casually suggests, "How about you walk away and we'll follow you?" as if that somehow solves anything. In truth, it makes the situation worse. Surveillance without any legal justification is harassment, especially after the auditor clearly asserted his right to be left alone. What the officer is really proposing is an informal, unspoken stop, tailing someone in hopes of justifying suspicion later instead of acting lawfully in the moment. This is a perfect example of policing by intimidation. If an officer lacks the legal grounds to detain, then following a person just in case is not only unreasonable, it's oppressive.
I'll just put a complaint in. I'll just put a complaint into IPCC.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because obviously you're illegally detaining me for a crime I've not committed. So obviously, like I'm going to ask again, am I being detained for a crime? Because obviously now no one's answering. If I'm not being detained for a crime...
I'm just in process of speaking to your manager.
Right.
If you'd like to walk away, you are free to walk away. And if I detain us for a crime, I will come after you, won't I? It's up to you, sir.
I'm not going to turn me back. I'm not going to turn me back on officers so you can body slam me.
Do what you'd like. don't think you're capable of body
Hey, there's police out there that body slam people for the fun of it.
when he's asked for an officer's ID.
So you've illegally detained me, you call me a liar.
Accuse you of calling him a liar.
Yeah, but now you've also illegally detained me. So wait until IPC.
Wait, we're going around in circles. Twice I've said, if you'd like to walk away, walk away.
Well, just for the camera, have I been committed as a crime? Right, so I've not committed a crime, so well, you've given me permission to walk away. I'm not, mate. I'm not, mate. Now you're making lies about me. You've also illegally detained me, like I said before, when he says you're now detained. What for what crime? He couldn't give me a crime. So he's legally detained me on the spot. He's also kept me hostage. So I do know my rights, and this will be going to IPCC. I will be sent it to Milan. I'll wait until it's all over the line. I don't need the log number. I've got your badge numbers. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust the fact I can walk away with you.
How can you show us your ID in the first instance? I don't think it would have taken this long. So when you're talking about being...
Yeah, but my right, I don't have to show my ID if I've not committed a crime or I'm on suspicion of crime. I've not committed a crime. I'm working.
The officer's comment implying that the situation wouldn't have escalated if the auditor had simply shown ID exposes a seriously flawed mindset. It shifts blame for poor policing onto the individual asserting their rights. The auditor had not committed any crime, made it clear he was working, and explained his legal position. Yet instead of respecting that, the officer acted as if the auditor's refusal to comply was the real issue. This reveals a major ego problem. The officer couldn't handle being told no, and instead of reassessing the situation lawfully, they doubled down and implied the auditor was the one prolonging it. It's a dangerous mindset, one that leads officers to treat simple noncompliance as justification for detention or escalation.
So, that's what I said. Free to go, Sam?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to leave.
That £35,000 compensation payout says everything. Not just about the harm caused to Curnow, but about the level of misconduct by the officers involved. This wasn't a minor incident or misunderstanding. It was a serious legal reckoning. Courts don't issue such payouts unless rights have been clearly violated, and this case proved exactly that. One officer was dismissed, another suspended for 2 months, and a third placed under internal review. Clear proof this wasn't just confusion. It was a complete failure of law enforcement standards. From the start, these officers operated on arrogance and ignorance. They responded to a vague call with suspicion, and instead of acting professionally, immediately demanded ID without lawful basis. When Curnow rightfully stood firm, they escalated with force and detention, not because it was justified, but because they couldn't stand being told no. The male officer's "not your servant" comment perfectly captures their inflated egos. The female officers remarked that things would have gone smoother if Curnow had complied only showed how little they understood about civil liberties. That isn't policing, it's coercion. Their misuse of power, unlawful detainment, and attempts to justify it afterward by following up with the caller revealed their complete lack of proper procedure. This wasn't about law. It was about control. When their attempts to twist legislation failed, they doubled down with more disrespect, claiming Curnow was wasting time. But in the end, their actions cost them legally, professionally, and reputationally. This entire episode serves as a warning to any officer who thinks they can bluff their way through the law. It's also a strong reminder to the public. Never be afraid to stand up for your rights. Stay calm. Record everything. Curnow's firm stance, legal knowledge, and refusal to be intimidated led to real accountability. His victory proves why public awareness and knowing your rights are the best protection against unlawful policing.